CNN's Chris Cuomo had on Trump surrogate Sean Spicer, whose name definitely sounds like a porn star name. Sean Spicer's as porny as it gets. And they went at it over Trump's corruption and his electoral win. Let's watch.
I get what the press wants, but the American people have understood exactly what they're getting, and they voted overwhelmingly for him. He has been very clear about what he owns, the role of his family, and everything else since he announced that he was running for president, and they overwhelmingly elected him with all of that on the table. So I understand a desire by some on the left and frankly some in the media to want to comb through certain documents that he has. But the American people are clearly satisfied with what they got, not only on election day, but since he's been elected, his approval rating's gone up like 20 some odd points. So not only have they elected him, they've become more and more pleased with the job that he's done, and he hasn't even assumed the office yet.
I thought you guys didn't like polls, but if we want to play with them, we know that more people are concerned about his business dealings than those who are not. We know that his approval rating is low compared to where other president-elects have been at this point. But let's dismiss the polls. You said they overwhelmingly voted for him. There is no definition of overwhelming that would meet the statistical
306
criteria.
electoral votes?
It's one of the lowest.
Sure there is.
It's one of the lowest electoral margins we've had. I think it's 46th out of 50 something. It's one of the lowest in the last few cycles we've had. He won. He's the president-elect. He will be the next president of the United States. But I'm saying, if you want to be straight about it and transparent, it wasn't overwhelming. And
no, if you look at, hold on, Chris, there is nobody on your network and the rest of the media that gave him a chance going into Election Day. None.
How is that relevant?
The headlines Newsweek had.
How does that make his win overwhelming?
Because to say that he was going to get crushed, Hillary Clinton was planning fireworks on the Hudson.
Right.
Everything was going to happen. He wins with 306 electoral votes, 9 of 13 battleground states, 2,300 counties, and you're saying you doubt whether that's overwhelming?
Yeah, because it's about 100,000. It's about 100,000 votes. It's one of the smallest electoral margins we've had, and he lost the popular vote by millions. But he won. I'm not disputing that, and I know you like that as a distraction. I'm not giving it to you today. What I'm saying is...
It's not a distraction,
of course
it's a fact.
Of course it is, because you're assuming there's a premise involved that is absent from this discussion. There is no suggestion of delegitimizing the victory. What I'm saying is transparency, which you were touting yesterday, is woefully lacking where it matters most. We do not know
Chris,
what the business dealings are for the kids or for Trump. And you were supposed to tell us today, and you delayed it.
Damn. Okay, that was a rare good job on CNN. And credit to Chris Cuomo for that back and forth there, because that's what he should be doing all the time with all of his different political guests who are either representatives of politicians or they are the politician. So that is well done. Because he wouldn't let him get away. He's trying to wiggle out. He's like, no, let me explain this to you. So first, let's go to the claim of overwhelming victory. Chris is right. There's no definition of overwhelming victory that Trump's win was overwhelming. Even when you go to his strongest claim, which is the Electoral College, when you do the comparison between Trump's win in the Electoral College and the history of wins in the Electoral College, there's only John Kerry and George Bush and Al Gore were closer in modern times. So most of them, I mean, there were Electoral College wins of over 500 electoral votes. Bill Clinton won with, beat Bob Dole with, 361. Obviously, Obama beat Romney and Obama beat McCain with one was 332, and I forget what the other one was, but it was well over 306. So there were some wins with over 400 electoral college votes. So yeah, when you make a list of all of them throughout U.S. history, it ranks towards the bottom of size of the victory, even in the electoral college. So there's just not an argument there of he had an overwhelming win, because that's not an overwhelming win. And then obviously his point gets even weaker when you get to the popular vote. She won by over 2 million votes in the popular vote. Now understand, you guys know I don't like Hillary Clinton. I despise Hillary Clinton. I also despise Donald Trump. But so me saying this, I'm trying to make the point here that me saying this is not like a rah-rah pro-Hillary, I'm so butthurt over her loss kind of thing. To me, it's a logic, rationality thing of, oh, she got over 2 million more votes. she should have won. I mean, the system should just be one person, one vote. I don't agree with the electoral college system. In fact, I think it's kind of fucking crazy when 40% of our elections from 2000 and on have gone to the opposite of the person that the most people voted for. Yeah, there's a fucking flaw in that system. I don't agree with that system. So, yeah, if anything, I think her margin of victory is above the margin of victory that other presidents have had. I think, what was it? George W. Bush beat John Kerry in the popular vote by less than Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? So his win, George Bush won, and he had less than 2 million more votes than John Kerry. And then he claimed a mandate when he was in office. I have a mandate. The people overwhelmingly voted for me, so I have a mandate. By that logic, Hillary Clinton has an even bigger mandate than you do, and she ain't even president. So, yes, there's no argument. Stop making that point. And I also agree with Chris Cuomo that I'm not saying this to delegitimize his presidency. In fact, he wasn't even trying to argue that point. It's just that doucheface decided to bring up overwhelming victory. No, don't say that, because now I got to correct your ass because it ain't an overwhelming victory. But I'm not trying to delegitimize him. Yes, he's going to be the president of the United States, and that's what it is. But the main point, and this is what Chris went on to explain, is the transparency with the business connections. Trump made a he said he's going to do a press conference the other day about his business connections and what he's going to do with the business going forward, because obviously there's a million conflicts of interest. He's like, anyway, reschedule. We're not doing it today. Everybody's like, what the fuck? And then the next day he walks out with Kanye West. So we had time to talk to Kanye West, who literally just got out of a mental institution, but he didn't have time to, let me explain to you what's happening with my businesses and what we're going to do to fix it. And I'll tell you why he canceled the press conference, because he has no fucking answer. Just like Hillary Clinton, with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. Yeah, you accept money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia, and then you pretend like you're on the side of human rights as you give them weapons deals because they gave the Clinton Foundation money. That's corruption. That's clear corruption. That's a clear conflict of interest. Donald Trump was, as president-elect of the United States, was meeting with real estate moguls from India doing business deals. Yeah, that's corruption. Yeah, that's a conflict of interest. Now, how am I supposed to know that you're going to be fair and objective when it comes to India? You're not. You're going to let them get away with whatever they want to get away with because you got business with them. Same thing with the call from Taiwan. There were reports that the reason why him and Taiwan had that nice call after he got elected is because he had somebody from his business call them a few weeks before and talk about, hey, maybe we do a Trump hotel there. So again, international diplomacy crumbling. China's pissed at us because of the call with Taiwan. But the only reason, reportedly, that he did that call was maybe there's some business involved in this. He registered 7 new businesses in Saudi Arabia while he was on the campaign trail. So again, you're going to hold them accountable? You're going to sanction them when they do wrong things? Of course not. You're going to give them even bigger weapons deals because you have a financial incentive to be on good terms with them. This is the same kind of fucking corruption that we were pissed at Hillary Clinton for, and you're doing it right in front of our face. And the idiot parade on your team is trying to go out there and pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Overwhelming victory. He has a mandate. Oh my God, no, there's no conflicts of interest. I don't understand about conflicts of interest. That doesn't even make any sense, conflicts of interest. What conflict of interest? What are you talking about? Imagine Hillary Clinton appointed fucking 2 Goldman Sachs people at top positions. If Hillary Clinton appointed somebody from Goldman Sachs to control the federal budget and appointed somebody from Goldman Sachs for Treasury Secretary, everybody would be like, oh, fucking corruption defined. But Trump does it, and they're still trying to claim hilariously, he's a man of the people. I don't know what you're talking about. He said there's no conflicts of interest. There's no corruption. Please, man, please. This is just sad at this point. So again, credit here. This is rare that I give CNN credit, but credit to Chris Cuomo. I want you to do that with everybody. Because there's a famous clip of Chris Cuomo saying from, I think, 2014, that, nobody's been a bigger cheerleader of Hillary Clinton than us, or something like that. Not something to advertise, not something that's good, something that honestly should probably get you fired. Because you're saying, objectivity? Holding people accountable? No, if I like you, I'm not going to say shit. Go ahead, get away with it. Oh, Chris, what are you doing? No, take this same mentality of being, fierce against people who come on and forcing them to tell the truth. Do that with everybody.